Alright, this video is for everybody who is testing products consistently but cannot seem to find a winning product. Alright, so either you tested a couple of products already or you actually tested a lot of products in terms of like 10, 20 products, but nothing works. Okay, in this video we're going to talk about three things. Number one is things that you're likely doing wrong. Alright, this is going to be crucial and I'm going to call you out specifically on all the mistakes you're doing right now. And I'm going to tell you what to do instead of those, okay? The second part of the video is going to be me talking about my journey and telling you what happened to me when I didn't make money and when I tested everything I possibly could for like almost a year, and then what I changed to actually start making money off the bat, all right? For me, everything changed in a matter of like a couple of months, all right? 1 month I was like, the first year I was not doing anything, and then inside of one single month I made more than in that entire year. And the reason for that was I just changed up the things which I was doing wrong. Alright? And the third part of the video is going to be me giving you very practical advice on how to get from your level, which basically is either testing and failing and not having winners at all, or testing and having some break-even products but not being able to actually get a proper winner and scale, and basically getting from this level to actually finding your first winning product and making at least like 10K profit per month. Alright? If you're still watching this, it's likely that you actually are testing a bunch of products and are not just wasting your time on watching YouTube videos and not applying it, all right? This is actually most of the dropshipping community. Most of the people don't even get started. They don't even test their first product properly. They never spend their money on Facebook. And if you already did so, congrats, you're actually a part of the few people who actually is doing that, all right? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about if I say that most people don't, all right? They never test their first product. So if you're actually part of that group, that's good. And if you're not, and you're just starting out, then stop right there. Don't watch this video. Actually click away. I don't need this view from you. What I actually need from you is that you get your first experiences. All right. So if you didn't test anything, but have been researching dropshipping for a while now, stop everything you're doing. Test your first product or get a person who's going to tell you exactly what to do. One out of those two, it doesn't make sense at all to keep watching YouTube videos. However, let's get into the things which you're actually doing wrong if you keep testing, but nothing is better than breaking even. All right? The first thing you have to identify is where the problem actually is. Is the problem internal or external? What I mean by that is problems can be in two categories, internal and external. And if you, for example, test the right way, however, you don't have the right results, maybe, potentially, there could be an external problem, like not having the checkouts on, or having a shadow ban on Facebook and everything you test on Facebook just doesn't work because Facebook is ruining everything, like all the traffic you get, all right? Those could be external reasons, which obviously are also internal because you could have just added a checkout or you could have just changed the Facebook account, but whatever. All right, there could be external issues which have easy fixes. And also there are real external issues which you cannot influence. For example, if I test a product, I don't have a 100% success rate, all right? Everybody who tells you that every single product they test is a winner is just lying to you, okay? And that doesn't mean that nobody knows what they're doing. What it actually means is that sometimes dropshipping is a numbers game, all right? You can obviously stack the numbers in your favor and do things properly to actually win this numbers game, but you can still lose a bunch of battles to actually win the war. You know, to make that metaphor here, it just makes sense that you test some products until you find a winner if you do everything right. But unfortunately, 99% of everybody I ever met is not having this issue. It's not like they're doing everything right and they just don't get the desired outcome. It's actually they're doing everything wrong or big parts wrong, and that's why they're not getting the right outcome, all right? And if you actually keep doing what you're doing right now and just test and go really hard with it, there's a very high chance that you're going to lose a shit ton of money. Because you might have this lucky winner and something works a little bit because you just plow through it and go really, really hard on it. But that's not what you want to do, all right? You don't want to have lucky winners. You want to know what you're doing and have a replicatable system which you actually can apply to find winners over and over again. So most people actually think they're doing things right when in reality, they're number one, testing bad products with shitty ads, which they buy from like either Fiverr or bands of ads or viral e-com vids, and they have a really good looking store. So this is a very common combination. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not, but it's a very common combination. You think that the products you test are actually good when in reality they're bad, and the main criteria you're following in the products are, for example, it's a problem-solving product, has a wow effect, it has a proven concept in terms of like my competitors are doing great with it, and that's it. Those are the ones, all right? If you follow only those criteria, your products probably suck. Then, if you don't know how to make really good ads, your ads probably suck, because you cannot monitor if an ad is good or bad before you actually make a good one, all right? If you just buy a random ad from Fiverr, you can almost be sure that it's gonna suck. Because every revision you're gonna do from there, everything you're gonna tell them, please change this, do this, why though? Like, why is this not better than the thing you're having? You're just going by intuition, all right? And it's actually very tough to figure out what a good ad is in the beginning. And some people also have this issue that they have stores which look great, but it's just not helping them, because the problem is not the store, normally. The problem is normally everything else, the product, ads, and Facebook. All right, those three things are normally the issues. Even the best looking store is not going to help you. If your store looks like the perfect brand, it's not going to help. All right. And by the way, I'm going to list a bunch of typical mistakes which most people do in the beginning. And please be honest to yourself and don't let your ego get in your way and tell yourself, all right, I'm doing the right thing. It's just external things. I'm basically doing everything right. In reality, the business model sucks or whatever sucks. All right. It's probably that you actually suck in the thing what you're doing, which is not bad because everybody sucks in the beginning. All right. The next thing which most people have is they don't know what to do on Facebook. And they don't have a really clear structure on when to kill an ad set, when to scale an ad set, how to scale an ad set, and actually how to go about split testing the next things. Because there's so many things you could theoretically split test. For example, you test 5 ad sets, one of them works really well, 4 don't work at all, and you basically think, all right, what should I split test now? Should I change my ads? Should I add a new ad? Should I create new ad sets, test new interests, just take the single interest which I already have, which worked the best, create it again? Or should I just change up my store? Should I just change up my product? Should I kill this product? What should I do? All right? And you don't have a clear structure of what you do in which scenario. And that's very important because without this structure, you're just gonna go do everything by accident and luck. All right, everything you're doing, you're going to base by your own feelings and you're going to do panic decisions. For example, if you have one really good day and then nothing really works, you're going to feel emotionally attached to the product and you're going to still think, all right, maybe this one good day actually meant I have a winner. Or the other way around. If you have like a really, really bad day, you're going to make a panic decision of killing everything because you don't want to lose more money today. All right, and those panic decisions are normally not based on clear numbers and okay, if this happens, I do this, if this happens, I do this. It's more based on just a general feeling that you have right now and I feel bad, I should turn everything off, all right? This is a very big problem I see all over the place, just not having a clear structure and basing everything off your feelings. The next thing you're probably doing wrong is not knowing when to kill a product. Either you're killing products too early or too late. Either you're emotionally attached to everything you're doing and you just leave everything running even though you're just losing money and wasting your time, and you basically split test everything you possibly can. If something doesn't work, you think, all right, I need to get UGC, I need to get an influencer to make really good content for me, I need to make my store perfect, I need to order a bunch of my products to have like a nice custom packaging, to actually fulfill it from my own warehouse or whatever. And you do all those crazy things which don't impact your sales in reality. Or you see that something doesn't work and after $30 you kill, and then you test the next product and you kill, and then you test the next product and you kill. And you need to find a balance. And this is the exact reason why in our program we always look over the ads manager of our students and I tell them, all right, you're doing this well, you're doing this bad, and you need to kill this ad set, product or whatever, and we need to scale this. Because it's very tough to actually decide in the beginning what to do in which scenario. And I cannot emphasize this enough because I was doing all of those things wrong, but I'm going to get into that later. Now I have a bunch of students who are just complete beginners, which is totally fine. They just have never tested anything and they start with me. Or I have students who actually already tested some things and then they start with me. And the people who tested a lot of things already, like 5 to 20 products at least, I see that they have this thinking of, all right, no matter what I do, I just test and test and test and test, and this is going to solve my problem, all right? I'm not going to change anything about my system because my system is perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and do exactly what the system requires and plow through until it works, all right? This mindset is great, and it's very, very good actually. However, it's terrible if you have the wrong system. And most people do have the wrong system because they either follow the wrong strategy or mix their own strategy together or don't have a person who looks over their thing. or they just bought a video course and they misunderstood the whole strategy and they don't understand how it actually works. Mostly those people actually fail because they just go really, really hard on a strategy, which is terrible, all right? And those people, to be honest, are the best students I've ever had. Like everybody who's like that, it's gonna be so easy to make it work for you. Because if you just change the strategy up and actually get something which works really well, you're gonna crush it because you're gonna keep doing everything this strategy requires. However, unfortunately, most people are just not like that, and it's also fine. To be honest, I was also, like in the beginning, I was not that much of a beast in testing everything and going really hard, and it's fine. Now, I touched on this earlier already, but most likely you're selecting products just by either trend or looking at the competitor's ad library and sales and engagement, and it being problem solving. And again, you need to have deeper criteria than this, because everybody's doing this. Everybody, all right? You're not gonna stand out, you're just gonna sell the product which everybody dropshipper is selling. Now, do you need to stand out like crazy? No. Do you need to reinvent the wheel? No. However, you need to go ahead and actually focus on criteria which matter more than this. And to have a problem-solving product is not the end-all be-all thing. Like this is not the main criteria you should be focusing on. And then we also have the type of people who actually change up their strategy every couple of weeks, all right? They test this, it doesn't work, then they test a completely other strategy, and then again another strategy, and this. Like they just go crazy on mixing everything together and trying to make their own thing, or just following different strategies and none of them work because they don't keep pushing enough. All right. In reality, everybody who is breaking even or not finding a winning product and is still testing, there's need for change. But there's also need for change in the right direction, and there's no need for change in only a specific couple of departments. Like most likely everything you're doing is great. However, like 3 or 4 things you're just doing a little bit wrong, and if you change them up, it's gonna go like crazy. And this actually was the case for me. I was doing a lot of things right, but I was also doing a crazy amount of things wrong. And those things which I did wrong were not that obvious. Because what I did was I changed up 3 things. The number 1 thing I changed up is I got a mentor. All right, immediately off the bat, I like after 10 months of doing it and it just didn't work, I basically tested one product mainly, and I always tested like some other things on the side. I tested some Facebook ad stuff, but the main thing I was just doing shout outs on Instagram and trying to go make one product viral. All right, this worked to an extent that I made some money. I made like $18,000, and I only made like max 5K in profit over 10 months. This is not bad, but it's not good at all. Actually, I'm gonna take this back. It's terrible, all right? To make 5K in 10 months is nothing. However, it gave me the confidence that I can make money online. That was it. That was all that I needed. Immediately after making the first couple of sales, I was hooked. I understood now, all right, this is the thing I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm doing and I still make money. This is crazy, all right? And my thinking was, I basically had a product which I personally really, really liked. It actually was in a niche which I was passionate about, basically boxing. And I've been doing boxing my whole life. I kind of know the niche really well. And I thought, let me just select this product because I love this product and I'm in the niche. So that means that this is a good product. Even though this was wrong thinking, because me liking the product because I'm in the target audience is great, that's good, but that's not the main criteria. There's other things which had to be aligned to actually make a product work. But this was a lucky hit, and I actually selected a product which I personally liked, which also fit a bunch of other criteria which I had no idea about. And what I did then is I basically started making videos which looked really good, like really, really professional videos which looked amazing, all right? However, they didn't work. And the problem with that is my mentor told me, look, your videos, they look too good. They look salesy, they look like ads. All right. And what I needed to change up was I needed to make them look terrible, which is very counterintuitive because why the fuck would you need to make your ads look worse? The answer to that is most things that go viral on Instagram and Facebook actually don't look that great. It doesn't look high quality. It feels natural. It needs to feel very natural to the feed and just look like it's not an advertisement at all. Okay. And that's what I changed up. I made an ad which was as simple as it gets. It was basically a guy using my product, and before that I put in a scroll stopper, like the first couple of seconds, I put in a guy getting knocked out in a spectacular way, and I basically showed that this knockout was due to my product, because with my product you're gonna train boxing better and you're gonna be able to knock people out. okay? This was the whole concept of the ad. It was not a great looking ad, but it was a perfect ad in reality, okay? Now I know how good this ad actually was because it was an ad which every single Instagram page would repost. All right, they didn't, but in theory, if I would have sent this video to an Instagram page, like an Instagram boxing page, they would have for sure made a shout out, and this video would probably also go viral, okay? And I also changed up the strategy and went to Facebook. I tried that before with the same product and it didn't work because of my terrible ads. And I basically changed up my offer. I made the product cheaper. I changed a lot of things about the offer as well. And everything took off like crazy, okay? And I literally went from $3K a month to over $70,000 in one single month. All right, and this was crazy, and it truly was crazy. Like, I did not expect this. I didn't expect that I can actually make this amount of money with dropshipping because for the last year, I was not making proper money. All right, in that month where I made those 70K, the profit was well over 10K, like well over 10K, okay? And for me, my goal was to actually make 2K profit per month. In the first month, which actually worked really well, my goals were 10x. Everything I expected looked so little and small to me now that I couldn't even believe that this actually is reality now, okay? And to be honest, I thought I got lucky. I didn't expect that this success is gonna transfer into the next month, but it did. And I also started at the next store and it worked again. I started another store and it worked again. And basically everything just started to work. And to be honest, I didn't really understand why. Like, it was just working and I was blindly following the strategy which worked, but I had no idea why. And there I understood that I need to change up the approach I'm having right now. My thinking process was basically, I need to really understand what I'm doing here and why it works, and I need to make it replicatable in a way that I understand why this works and why this didn't work, okay? So basically I started to test everything, a bunch of stores, a bunch of ads, a bunch of products, everything I possibly could split tested. After doing that for around like 6 months, I started to really understand what I'm doing, how things work, and what the psychology behind it is. However, I did one really crucial mistake, and that was to think that now I'm smarter. I thought that now I don't need a mentor anymore. I thought that now I know everything by myself. And that thinking would happen like after the second month. First month I make 70K. Next month I make even more. And that was like, all right, I'm the shit now. I know everything. I know what I'm doing here. I got super cocky and way overconfident because I thought that nothing can stop me. I made it, you know? I literally thought I made it. And this only happened after the second product. In the second month, I also tested a second product, which worked really well as well. And I was like, all right, I know everything now. However, that was a crucial mistake. I lost everything. Like, I lost everything I made in those first couple of months. I lost every single dollar of that because I was just stupid about it. And I had no idea what I'm doing with accounting. I had no idea what I'm doing with like upselling, email marketing, with customer support, with hiring bad people. I got scammed a bunch of times from like VAs, from people who wanted to run my ads because I thought I just need to outsource everything and give everything away. And I basically gave also my ads, like the ads management to a couple of people. They had no idea what they're doing and they just started to like do bad stuff on my Facebook. And on top of that, I didn't know my proper break-even points. Lost everything, all right? But I got up pretty quickly again because I now realized what I was missing and I did those things properly. And the money I lost, I could have just not lose it if I had guidance all the way. However, I didn't and it happened. Now I know what to do and now I know how to go about things. However, from all of this, my biggest learning was this can be replicated. From now on, doesn't matter what happens, I started to understand how to make money in general and how to make the strategy work, all right? And this was a mindset which I actually really adapted and which helped me out a ton. What I also started to understand is I can actually help other people which want to do the same. Because I had a friend which reached out, like I had a bunch of friends who reached out to me and really wanted help with dropship, which also wanted to start dropshipping. I didn't help most because after a while I started to understand that most people don't really do it seriously, and basically everybody I started to help didn't really do it, all right? Like, they didn't test a single product, they didn't really apply it. From then on, I started to tell them, all right, if you actually want to learn dropshipping from me, you're a very close friend or your family member, I don't want to charge money from you to actually teach you. What I'm going to do is tell you to donate $500 to whatever, and if you do that, I'm going to help you. I'm going to start helping you and teaching you. Most people obviously didn't. However, one guy there was who actually really applied everything I told him, and he started to make good money. He quit college, started to do this full-time, and actually started to do dropshipping as a full-time job. And to me, that was crazy. And I saw that I can actually help people here. I can really help people. And I also saw that I can make a shit ton of money with this as well. Because so many people have this problem of going to a 9-to-5, not knowing what to do with their life, basically wanting to build an online business. And I literally knew how to solve that problem. And that's why I decided to do this mentoring thing. And basically, I saw it's a win-win. I'm going to make money. I'm going to help people. Perfect. Now let me get into the main practical advice I'm going to give you here, which is basically for people who test, but nothing really works. First thing is identifying your whole funnel. Like, I've seen it so often that you test and test and test, and then PayPal rejects like 50% of your orders, or your Stripe checkout doesn't work, or your checkouts in general don't work. Whatever. Just check that, make sure that everything works well. PayPal works, the credit card payments works, all good, all right? The second basic thing is if you tested everything on one ads manager, test it on another one. Because it might actually be the case that your ads manager has a shadow ban. It's unlikely, and in most cases, you just suck with the products or ads, but it could actually happen that your ads manager just has a shadow ban. The third thing is have a set of criteria for products, and you need to set your standards very high. It shouldn't be easy for you to find a good product. Normally, if you find 30 products and I'm actually going to check them, I'm max gonna select like 3 to 4. That's very, very good already. If you test 3 to 4 products out of 30, and that's great, because I'm picky with the products you're gonna be testing in the mentoring program. And you should do the same for yourself. You should not just test randomly. You should actually have a lot of criteria and really try to understand what criteria you're gonna set for yourself. But after you've set them for yourself, you'd only test products which fit all of the criteria. It doesn't make sense to test anything which is just setting yourself up for failure, okay? So it's very important to set your standards high here. And I actually have an interview with one guy, his name is Amir. And it's very interesting to see what happened there, because he was one of those guys who was just like an animal and testing a bunch of products. He was testing and testing and testing, but nothing was really working. And the main thing we basically changed up is we just set the standard way higher. If he would have tested 20 products, we tested 1. All right, for every 20 products you found, we just tested a couple. So this can actually be a game changer by itself, okay? Now the next thing is make your ads look like they're not ads. This was a crucial thing for me. Just take the statement as it is and try to really understand what goes viral on Instagram and on Facebook, okay? Just go through Instagram pages, go through influencers and see which videos of theirs go viral and how they're structured. Then the next thing is split test scroll stoppers and creatives. You need to go really hard on testing a lot of scroll stoppers, on testing a lot of creatives, because if you don't, you're just very likely to not find that winner from the get-go. Because if you have a great product, but your creatives are really bad, there's a great chance that you just miss out on this good product because you don't have a good scroll stopper. Literally, having the first 3 seconds of your video being bad, that's gonna be a game changer. That's actually the case. People just don't stop scrolling, so you need to make this good. Now the next thing is probably what you should do is kill things a little bit earlier. You shouldn't waste your budget and time on products which don't work, all right? So if you see that you test something and it doesn't have any results, nothing really works, just kill the product, okay? Obviously here it's very important to kill on the ad set level. If you have a couple of ad sets which are doing good and a couple of ad sets which are doing bad, that's actually the ideal scenario. You need to have clear cuts and clear segments of things which work. For example, 2 interests work really well and 5 interests don't work at all. All right, that's great, because then you can just kill everything else, have those 2 interests on, and you're profitable. But if you would have a break-even thing or like 1 sale on every single ad set instead of having all the sales on 2 ad sets, then you cannot kill anything because like everything is kind of shitty and breaking even or unprofitable, and you cannot really segment it. So what you need to do there is you need to start breaking down. For example, you start breaking down by countries. If you actually start to break down the ROAS on different countries and you see that maybe UK is actually really profitable right now, but all at the same time you're unprofitable. And then you just create new ad sets in only UK, and those tend to do better because your UK ad sets are actually profitable. So what's really important here is to get segments of people who buy and segments of people who don't buy. And you need to have this clear cut, all all right? That's going to be super helpful if you really understand this concept, because if you don't have that, it's just like a blurred thing where something works, but it's not real, you know? So the next thing I want to tell you here is if you have a product which actually is breaking even, don't waste your time on it, okay? Keep going with it, don't just kill it. However, test the next product at the same time. I see this crucial mistake being done by most people. They think that something which is breaking even needs so much attention that they basically neglect testing the next product. When in reality, it can take like a month or so until a break-even product actually gets profitable. And in some cases, it's not going to get profitable and it's just going to die off. So if it dies off, you just wasted a month. If it gets profitable, great, but you still wasted that month in terms of not testing the next product. It's just crucial to actually test the next product at the same time. Now, the last thing I want to mention here is break-even products are great, all right? Break-even products are really good to actually make things profitable, because if you split test the right things, you can actually segment the right people. It's the same thing with creatives. If you have like a segment which works really well, like one creative and one scroll stopper or whatever, you can use that. And that, if that tiny thing is actually profitable, you just create ad sets with only that with only that video, and it's going to be profitable again. So breaking even things are great, test a lot of things there, but keep testing the next product. Here it's very important to mainly look at the hard metrics and not the soft metrics. What I mean is look at the ROAS, cost per purchase, and don't overanalyze like the CPM, CTR, and all those little things. They matter, of course, but that's just secondary. If you have ad sets where the CPM is really bad, that doesn't really mean anything necessarily if the hard metrics, the sales are good. At this point, with all those iOS issues, basically you not being able to track sales properly, by the way, there are actually ways around it, we teach it in the program, but anyways, if you have that problem of you not being able to track, then some people just look at the CPM, and you look at the CPC, and you see this is not doing good because the CPC is terrible. And then you kill that ad set, and all of a sudden all of your sales are gone. Because sometimes expensive traffic is really good traffic, and cheap traffic is actually cheap traffic which doesn't buy. Okay? So the cost per click is a metric which you should consider, but it's not primary. So this video is basically me ranting about everything I've been seeing so far from people who test and can't make it work. And if you are part of that group, if you actually test things and they just don't seem to work, it feels for you like you're doing things right, but it just doesn't show in the results, what you can do right now is schedule a free consultation session with me personally. It's a one-on-one call where we're gonna find out if everything is a good fit, and if yes, we're gonna start working together in a one-on-one mentoring program where I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do, what your next steps are, what your to-dos are in general, and how you should go about testing products the right way to make them profitable as soon as possible, okay? First things first, this is not going to be easy. You need to understand dropshipping is a hard business model. I'm not going to sell you this bullshit magic pill where the next product you're going to test is going to be a winner for sure. No. But what I'm telling you is if you actually start working with me and do the things I'm going to tell you, you're stacking the numbers game in your favor, and it's just going to lead to success if you do it properly. That's it. If you just keep doing it right, you're going to see success with it. And if you already are a person who actually tested a lot of things, that sets you up for success even more. Because right now we get a lot of applications and we don't work with everybody. We reject like 70% of everybody who applies because we just see that people don't execute. And I don't mean that everybody who's just a beginner and never tested a product is not going to execute things. And again, we also work with beginners and see good results there as well. However, if you already tested some things and you have this right mentality of, all right, I'm going to do the things properly and actually I'm going to focus on this strategy and do exactly what I get told, then you're going to see success no matter what. All right. So click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session, and see you there.